This is a 2019 Hyundai SantaFe. Somebody tried to break in the vehicle. They broke the back of the door. And upon coming into the front, they caused further damage on the key. The way to enter into the vehicle, if your remote battery is dead in your key fob. As you can see, they broke the ignition up. This ain't the broken side, of course. This is the dismantle side. This is where they try to stick a screwdriver in the ignition and forcefully start it. Now, being that this is a 2019, these keys are different than what you normally have. So you cannot stick the original key in. It will not go in. So this is not an issue where you could put your key on there, maybe hit it with a hammer, because if you do, you'll cause further damage. Yeah. All right. In order to fix this, you don't fix it, you replace it. In order to replace it, you'll see that there's a dot on the bottom. Let's see if we could get kind of a close-up. Do you see that little dot there? All right. Well, what that is you put the key in the ignition, and there's these dots on top. Do you see them? One is for on, it turns the power on. And then one goes into a crank position where you turn it cranks, then that's to start the vehicle. Well, you don't want to when you put your key in, you don't want to crank it. You just want it in the on position. It has to be in the on position in order for that button on the bottom to be pushed up. If this is in the on position, you push this button, you could grab the sleeve with your fingers and slide it out. Well, the key will be in the ignition, so you could actually just grab the key and it pulls right out. And then you can go ahead and further inspection, take it in and have it repaired. It'll save you money. If you want to save money on these vehicles when it comes to ignition repairing, if they come out to your vehicle, they got to come out and they got to take all this plastic off and go through all this to replace it. That's where they make money off you. But if you're to remove this piece yourself, you could go ahead and take it in, and then you'll save money. Or maybe even take the piece out and put another one in. These usually come with keys when you purchase them. I'm pretty sure they're not going to allow you to use the original key. But why would you? When the door on this, when they broke in through the door, they've already broke that and they messed up this, so you might as well get a whole ignition set. The maximum you should be paying on one of these, if you're buying the set and you're doing it yourself, is roughly no more than $500 and no less than, I would say, $300. I would guess. And if you're going to buy this piece, it's not safe to buy it off eBay. You could take a chance if you're good at it, but it's best to go to your Hyundai dealer and order the part from them. I do have the part number, and I could put the part number down on it. Now, here's the bad part. How are you going to get this into the on position if the key doesn't go in? So if the key doesn't go into the on position, you can't push that pin, and this ain't going to slide out. Well, in order to get this off, you're going to have to... The plastic is removed for us already. If the plastic was not removed, you would see that there's actually a screw here. And if I'm going to zoom out on top, so behind the steering wheel, there's a screw here, and there's one on the opposite side, right where I'm pointing. Well, here's another situation. If your steering wheel's locked, how are you going to get to that screw? So everything about this setup, I don't think they've ever thought that if a vehicle gets ever damaged or stolen, or attempt of theft, the problems you would have trying to remove to get to where you need to be these items. Well, it's broken. Most likely they broke things off. So let's have a look at it. If you were to unscrew it and you're curious, if you do have play in your steering wheel, don't move it too much. If you could get the screw out, take the top screw out right where I'm pointing, come to the other side and gently move your steering wheel so you could have access to the other screw, which is right where I'm pointing. So gently move the steering wheel, because once it locks on you, you're not going to get to it. And there's also 2 more screws on the bottom. And being that there's no plastic, I cannot show you where oh yeah, here's one, I believe. No, it looks like it's one piece of plastic. No, it's not. They're down there on the plastic. So removing the plastics first. This is what you're stuck with. Now that you have this, how are you going to get this whole piece off? Well, this is how it comes off. Assuming you had removed the plastics. I'm going to push this up. And we're going to have a look down in this ignition area, which let's put this tilt down. That would put the tilt down on your steering wheel, and that'll give you a good idea. All right, so now here we go. I'm going over on top of the steering wheel. Right there, see that? That's a mushroom head. It looks like a pyramid. It should be a Phillips or a flathead, a hexagon or an octagon for a socket, and there's not. So once they're put on, apparently they're not made to be removed. In this situation, oh, here's a side view. See? The screw goes down and into it. Well, the trick to get this off is you got to put a chisel on the side of it, and you got to hit to rotate the screw. So you're going to be scratching this, you're going to hit it. You're not going to use the same screw either. You're going to go ahead and go to either Home Depot or a hardware place and get the screw that you will be needing to replace this one. You have to take the screw with you. And of course, I'll go ahead and do a video on this, or leave a link below to show you where I bought the screw from and how much they are. They're two in a baggie, and they're about roughly $5. So we're going to remove this one, and just like this one, there's one on the opposite side. The trick is how do you get to it? How are you able to hit it and remove it? Well, this side looks like I get to it through, and this is the driver's side. Looks like I get through it to this side. But what about the opposite side? Let's have a look on this opposite side. Oh, well, it looks like if we disconnect, and it looks like the windshield wiper blades and whatnot, and at least they didn't break that. If I take this terminal out, which it goes outwards, I'll disconnect it. We should be able to have access to that screw and take that screw out. When you take those two screws out, you're going to be stuck with this whole ignition piece. Now, I apologize for moving the camera around as much as I am. You're going to have access of the salt, so you will be removing these switches. Do not remove these switches yet. And please do keep in mind that when you do remove this, do you hear the key chime going off? Let me close this door. Well, that key chime is actually a key indicator, and it lets you know, here it is. And it comes out towards you. So watch this. Notice it stopped? Watch when I put it back in. Now that it stopped, let's have a look at this piece. Apparently it's a metal piece, spring loaded. I don't know if it's a spring behind it or bent loaded, but this falls apart very easily. So you don't want to face it down, and you don't want to be moving this a lot. In fact, you probably want to put a little miniature plastic, tear a piece of plastic off and put it around and tie in case any of these parts fall off from it. Well, that stops that sound, and then you can see that there is more assembly of removing parts. So that just stops the chime sound. Well, let's get busy moving that part, shall we? Let's open this door up. Yeah, let's get this door up. The door open. Looks like we have traffic behind us, and the bad part about it is when you're on a street, this is can't have this door open, so be sure you're in a safe location upon doing this. And it is hot in this vehicle. Let me go ahead and set this down, and I will get back with you with a part 2 of this. But so far, we'll say that this video was the location of it and what you got to do to take it apart. So since I'm not showing you how, we can't say how to take it apart. Okay, be right back. Let's get to that second part.